For centuries, humans have looked up at the sky, dreaming to soar like birds. From ancient myths of Icarus flying too close to the sun, to Leonardo da Vinci sketching strange flying machines in his notebook, this dream never faded. The 19th century brought steam engines, industrial revolutions, and endless imagination. People began to believe that maybe, one day, the sky could belong to mankind. Scientists and inventors across Europe and America started to test gliders, balloons, and machines that could lift from the ground. But still, every attempt ended the same: failure, crashes, and laughter from those who thought flying was impossible. Yet among all the dreamers, two brothers from Dayton, Ohio, watched the sky differently. They were not scientists, not engineers, just bicycle makers. But their curiosity would soon change the history of the world. Wilbur and Orville Wright were fascinated by flight. In their small bicycle shop, they studied how birds tilted their wings to balance in the air. They believed that flight wasn't about power, it was about control. In 1899, they built their first small glider, testing it like a toy in the wind. It failed many times, but each failure taught them something new. They realized that to fly, they needed to master three things: lift, balance, and control. Using simple tools, they built a wind tunnel, the first of its kind, to test hundreds of wing shapes. In 1900, they took their larger glider to the windy dunes of Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The place was lonely, harsh, but perfect for flight tests. The first flights lasted only a few seconds. But for the Wright brothers, those seconds were everything. A glimpse of a dream turning real. By 1903, the Wright brothers had turned their dream into a machine, a wooden aircraft powered by a small engine they built themselves. They called it the Flyer. It was fragile, built from wood and cloth, but it carried the weight of human ambition. On the morning of December 17, 1903, in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, the air was cold and the wind was strong, perfect for flight. Orville Wright took the controls. His brother Wilbur ran beside him, steadying the wing as the engine began to roar. The plane lifted, just a few feet above the ground, but it was enough. Mankind had finally flown. It lasted only 12 seconds and covered 36 meters. Yet, those 12 seconds changed the world forever. With that short flight, the age of aviation was born. Two bicycle makers from Ohio had done what kings, scientists, and dreamers could only imagine. From that day forward, the sky was no longer a limit, it was a beginning. News of the Wright brothers' flight spread slowly across the world. Few believed it at first. How could two bicycle makers conquer the sky? But the proof was undeniable. Soon, the world began to imagine new possibilities. The dream of flight inspired inventors everywhere. Machines grew faster, stronger, and reached higher skies. In just a decade, airplanes no longer carried dreams, they carried people. But flight also brought war. In World War I, the sky became a new battlefield. What began as a dream of freedom turned into a race for power. Yet, even through war, flight united humanity in wonder. It pushed science, courage, and imagination beyond limits. The same wings that carried bombs would later carry hope, delivering aid, connecting nations, and bringing the world closer. From warplanes to passenger jets, from pilots to astronauts, the legacy of flight reached the stars. And it all began with two brothers, a dream, and a wooden machine in the sand. The sky is no longer the limit. It is humanity's greatest invitation to keep dreaming. More than a century has passed since the first flight at Kitty Hawk. Yet, when we look up at the sky, we still feel that same sense of wonder. The Wright brothers never saw how far their invention would go. Beyond oceans, into space, and into every dreamer's heart. From wooden wings to metal giants. From fragile dreams to powerful realities. Flight became a symbol of human courage. And maybe that's what makes us human. The endless desire to rise, to explore, and to dream. The story of flight isn't just about machines. It's about belief, believing that even the impossible can take off. So the next time you see a plane crossing the sky, remember it all began with a dream, a pair of brothers, and the courage to try. The sky was never the limit. It was the beginning